Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the #1 most valuable real estate community in existence.
Baby. #1.
We are out here in beautiful Chile. We're doing the first IRL REI Rev meetup on a drop of a dime.
Yes, sir.
John Foster, Alex Crespo, we out here 2025 for Q4 to chop it up, talk about our businesses, talk about where we're at, talk about the future, what we've been up to, how the year has gone, and what we are going to accomplish in the year that is on its way.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
so excited. Ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time joining us, please let us know in the side chat. Drop some fire in the side chat if you guys are excited for today. Happy Monday to everybody out here. Today's going to be a fantastic day. We are going to be bringing back these lives. We got to start doing more of these lives. We got to start changing more lives. That's what we're out here doing. We're really living it up.
Yes,
This is
sir.
real life. We are alive. We getting it. We're getting to it every day, so I'm excited. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot of people joining us right now. Talk to us, man. How's everybody doing today? Where are you guys flying in from?
We're flying. We're tuning in. Yeah, great question, man. So yeah, we flew in from Miami. So we're here. I had to come see my boy John Johnson.
Yes, sir.
We met up in Miami at
Last year.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Last year
sir.
at the last meetup
Yes,
in
sir.
Miami. You guys were lucky. The last meetup was in the U.S. It was in the States, but this one it was a little unexpected, and this one's at the Chile HQ. So I'm blessed to be here in proximity with you, brother.
Always,
And
brother.
I'm glad-
Always.
I'm glad I was able to share the experience with my guy right here. So
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir. It was a pleasure. I just booked the flight last minute. I'm talking 5 days before we flew out, and I do not regret anything. I'm just so grateful, and I give the glory to God.
Amen,
you know,
amen.
That we're able to have this time, freedom, and location freedom to do exactly, whatever we want to do. And I'm just so happy I could meet John Johnson. I learned a bunch from him these past few days, and it was just been phenomenal. I really appreciate you taking us in and showing us around, man.
Hey, well, I'm blessed. I'm truly blessed. I'm grateful, to be in proximity with you guys.
Yes, sir.
We got to do a whole bunch, since we've been here.
Yeah.
We should definitely talk about it, share, what we've been able to do. We're at a beautiful spot right now. This place has the best food. This
best.
place has the best food, bro.
Some of the best. It's incredible.
Best food, best views, man.
Yeah,
best views.
You can't beat it. It speaks for itself.
It's
Take
gorgeous. Gorgeous, man. You got the sunset, you got the ocean vibes, beautiful clear water. It's
sir.
incredible. We're gonna decide, are we gonna go back go-karting, or are we gonna go surf?
We got options.
We got options.
Man.
We got time.
options.
We got
You know what I
time. We got a little bit of time. Today's
Yeah.
the last day, but we making it happen. We making the most of every moment that we have.
Yes, sir.
And man, it's been an incredible event. So grateful, so blessed to have these guys here, just to be in proximity with each other, and just to hang out. You know what I'm saying? We work, but we don't want to work ourselves to death, right? We want to enjoy the fruits of our labor,
Yes,
and that's
sir.
what we got a chance to do this weekend. It was a nice weekend. Last week, they were celebrating Labor Day weekend. That was everybody's extended weekend. We just had an extended weekend this week because we
Yeah.
have put ourselves in a position where that's possible for us, right? We can do that. And real estate, specifically this community, is the reason why. But of course, most importantly, the Most High, Jesus Christ, man. We got to give it all up to
All
God.
glory to God.
Amen.
All glory to God.
All glory to
Grateful
God.
to be here today. Beyond blessed to be here today in Chile with these incredible guys. So thankful
sir.
for these guys. And today we're gonna be doing what? We've already woken up. We got out the B&B, had a beautiful beach view of the B&B.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And now we're gonna go. We're making this podcast. We're gonna talk about John, Alex, their story. How they got into real estate, what they're doing now. How they're scaling their business. And then we're gonna wrap up this live, and we're gonna
Go surf.
Surf,
Everybody
go-karting,
go-kart?
whatever. Just go with the flow. Flow state.
I'm excited.
There we go. Just let it happen.
I'm excited. All right, gentlemen. So for the people that are watching, right now, this might be the first time they've seen us,
Yeah.
or this might be the first time they've joined the
This will
Discord.
be the last. I can tell you that.
It shouldn't be. Definitely shouldn't be.
It's not gonna be.
Let's talk about a couple of topics, because last night, we went all over the place. We were talking about really deep stuff.
Yeah.
Talking about law of attraction. More importantly, how that relates to God. And the whole ask and you shall receive, right? And how that's practical, in terms of people that say law of attraction and tying the two together. But to be mindful of our energy, what we emanate, what we attract, what we focus on. I think that's a huge thing, for a lot of people, is they don't really have, that control over their focus. We were talking about that yesterday, and that was a great topic to discuss. And for anybody that's interested, we'll probably go through, we got some audio from that. John, Alex, and I will get it together. We'll get it out to you guys. So make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel if you're watching the replay. and drop a like on the video. But I'm so blessed, so excited, to be in proximity with these guys today. John,
Talk to me.
you talk to me, man. You're out here. I mean, you were just in Miami, and at the drop of a dime, now you're here in Chile.
Yes, sir. You know what? You know what I was feeling? I was just really getting, some fatigue of, what I should say is I was getting sick of my environment, to be straight up. So, I just wanted to switch it up. You know what I mean? I work every day, work. People are having fun on Labor Day. What am I doing? I'm laboring on Labor Day. You know what I mean? So, still chasing the goal, but, I felt like it was just time to disconnect for a little bit. You know what I mean? So, the great thing about being in business for myself is I can make the decision to, at the drop of a dime, book a flight, head to Chile, and visit, my boy John Johnson, just be around that incredible energy. You know what I mean? So it's just such a blessing, seriously. And anybody can do it, truly. I'm no better than anybody. So that's just the best part. This is my reality, and it can be anybody else's if they choose to, if they put themselves in alignment to make it happen, truly. That's all it takes. It's pretty simple, but
Yes, sir.
you just got to make it happen.
Yep.
But I'm really fortunate to be here.
Yeah, we all are, man. We're
And
blessed.
I'm really happy that I could bring along, my guy here. That way he can soak up the energy
Yeah.
and really just put himself, around the right people that he aligns with.
Hey, and I always believe, everything happens for a reason, and the reason I say
it's a
that
big one.
is because it was so out of the blue, so last minute, and I just pulled the trigger because everything was just working the way it needed to work, and that's with faith and focus. And when we were having that conversation yesterday evening, man, that conversation lasted for about 3 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
it was
only one of the
incredible.
conversations.
It was
you know?
incredible.
And let me tell you, I got exactly what I came here for. That conversation was exactly the thing that I needed, and I'm internally grateful for that, because now it's just to
You
the
have
next
clarity.
level.
You have
to the
clarity.
next level with clarity, man. That's it.
It all happened because we chose to put ourselves, in proximity with,
Yeah.
with John, because we took care of business. We're taking care of business daily. We got the right habits. We're making the money, and now we can enjoy the fruits of our labor when we want to. You know what I mean? We can put ourselves around the people that we want to, at the time that we want to, at the drop of a dime, which is such a blessing and just such a reward, from the fruits of your labor when you actually make it happen, put in the work. So
It's true freedom, ladies and gentlemen. We were talking about it last night. There's no better business than the business that we're in right now. We literally find discounted opportunities to purchase real estate. We pick the ones we want. We sell the ones we don't. Either way, we're making money. Either way, we're getting the best deals, and we're providing value. We're solving people's problems. We're professional problem solvers, and we went over that yesterday. And I mean, just the level of conversation was very, very high level yesterday.
Yes.
I mean, it was like very
It was
high level.
like when
Yeah.
the vibes are just incredible, it's just that feeling, that frequency. You
Yep.
feel it.
Yeah.
You feel it.
Everybody's
We're all
in tune.
Yeah.
In tune. Ideas are bouncing. We're flowing. You know what I mean? We're thinking.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. We're
You got to
thinking.
surround yourself with these type of people, because if you keep thinking the way you're thinking, you're not going to succeed or do anything you want to do.
Yeah. And we all know that. We're human, and we know what's good and we know what's bad for us. So it's all about just putting yourself, or trying to at least, making an effort to put yourself around, these type of circles and these type of people that are going to make you think and make you want to elevate and give you clarity. That's the biggest thing. We're lacking, everybody's lacking clarity. So when you can find that clarity around those type of people, cherish those people, because it's rare. It's rare.
Yes.
Super grateful to be in proximity with these guys. We got an opportunity just to spend time, you know what I'm saying, do great things, fun things.
Yeah.
Great conversation, great energy, and it was eye-opening. You know what I'm saying? It's always good to get away from the environments that are not serving you and to step into a new environment, that
yeah.
is serving you, getting around different people,
Yeah.
different energy.
It's refreshing.
Absolutely. And I'm so grateful that they could come out to Chile. A lot
Yeah.
of people, they don't even think that leaving their country is possible. It's never even a thought.
Let alone their hometown.
Yeah.
Some people never leave their hometown, which is just insane to me. You know what I mean? How are you supposed to grow when you're just stuck in one environment forever, and that's all you know?
Yeah. And
It shapes you.
the fact that we can do this business, from literally anywhere in the world is incredible. We got something coming up here on the phone.
Notification or what?
Oh, there goes that. So we're getting this together here. I think this was in the front.
Here. Here, that was a wet. It was wedged.
Wait, it says disconnected.
No, we're good.
Low power mode or what?
No, we're chilling. That's just an agent for one of my deals right now. She's calling. She's trying to make sure that we're going to close on time. Yeah, we're chilling. Right there is perfect. She's asking if we're going to be able to close early on one of these properties. It's going to be a huge month, ladies and gentlemen, huge month. And it's all possible because of this community. It's all possible because of the fact that we got in here and we got people in here that are doing bigger things. I'm not the biggest fish in the game here. You got to understand. I'm just really good at getting the right people in the room. These guys got in the room. They've executed. They're scaling their businesses. They're clearly in a position where they can, at the drop of a dime, hop on a plane and come out here and visit me. You got to understand, most people, they can't even do that. They don't have that access, and that goes back to, let's talk about limiting beliefs.
Okay.
Right? Let's talk about that conversation that we were having yesterday, because I feel like that's going to be so powerful, for the people that are listening right now. One of the things we were talking about was just your mindset. You hear a lot of people say, it's all mindset, but really, what does that mean, right? Well, let's identify a couple things, right? Number one is a contrast, right? We talked a lot about contrast. I put them onto these podcasts yesterday where we identified, well, what is contrast? Well, we go through life and we have these experiences where things work out for us and they are exactly what we want them to be, or they provide context and contrast and they help us gain clarity so that we can clearly define what we want. So the idea is, anytime we go through a situation that isn't exactly what you want it to be, it's not that it's inherently negative or that it's a bad situation or that something bad is happening to you. It's actually a blessing, because of that situation, we are now able to clearly identify what we want. And because of the fact that we can clearly identify what we want, the Bible tells us that it's already done, right? Ask and you shall receive. The fact that contrast was created, if you can perceive it to be contrast, and instead of complain about the situation and focus on the negative side of things, but we can focus on the positive side of things, we can focus on what we actually want, we can put ourselves in a position to receive more, right? So many people are focused on worrying, right? They're stressed out. They get some success, then they're scared, they don't want to go backwards, right? And I was in that position. I'm talking from a personal experience. I was in that position at some point. But the idea is, in order to continue to elevate, we have to shift our focus and always remain focused on what we want to happen. Because what we focus on, we can find, all right? If you're looking for a red car, you're going to find the red car.
100%.
If you're looking for the white car, you're going to find the white car. But if you're looking for a red or white car and all these blue and green cars pass you, somebody asks how many blue or green cars pass, you're not even going to know. You weren't focused on it, right? It's the same with opportunity. Everybody that's in this community right now, we're focused on finding discounted real estate opportunities to purchase real estate at a discount, right? And if we can continue to focus on that and continue to increase our ability to solve problems with different exit strategies, we can continue to realize these opportunities. We can continue to buy these properties. We can continue to sell or assign these properties. And so that's what it's so important, for us to just recognize that the things that we may initially perceive to be bad are actually blessings in disguise, because they create that contrast for us, and then it helps us identify what we actually want.
I can agree to that.
1,000,000%. Now, does anybody have questions about that? I mean, let's maybe somebody in the chat needs some clarity on what we mean exactly.
Absolutely. Well, let's open it up. We want to continue.
Yeah, I mean, we're on here for you guys. So.
Absolutely. And for anybody that's concerned about the YouTube live, we got a video recording. We'll make sure that it's done correct. But we've got it. We'd love to open it up. If anybody has any questions or anything like that, want to share anything, we're watching the chat, so definitely feel free to participate.
Here, what's everybody saying? God's way is the best way. Amen, brother.
Amen to that.
God's timing is perfect. Trust me.
Yep.
It's perfect.
A lot of great conversations yesterday, man.
Yes.
A lot of great conversations. For the people that are now just joining, welcome in, welcome in. Definitely invite somebody you think would benefit from being in proximity with us. What do you guys want to talk about? You guys just recently closed a huge deal. You know,
Yeah.
and that would be a good one to talk about contrast because of the situation that happened just before that.
Oh,
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
Tucker effect.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So let's break that down for everybody that's watching. Let's first talk about just like a quick backstory of how Alex got into real estate.
Sure.
And then
Sure.
let's talk about how you guys were working on that deal that was actually contrast, and then we'll link it to the one that
Home
worked
run.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it. You can.
Awesome.
You can start it out.
Yeah, so I'll run it off. So, great question, John, and thanks for asking. So, pretty much, Alex, he was a friend of a friend. That's how we started off. You know what I mean? Like a lot of us, we have those guys in our lives. Now, Alex, he's always been the type to, really, get loud about what he wants, and he always, tries to push towards it, but maybe he didn't have the clarity on how to get there. So, one day, he reached out. He seen what I was doing. I was posting stuff on the gram. He reached out. I posted, some shitbox house I pulled up to, took a snap, and I posted, about to walk this property. So, bro reached out, and was like, hey man, what are you up to? Yada yada. I caught him up to speed. Told him what I was doing, and then that's when we hopped on a phone call, and we connected again. We haven't spoke for quite some time, and then that's when he told me his story, where he was at in life and how he was feeling. And honestly, it wasn't in the best position because there wasn't a whole lot of clarity in his situation. And he had these great ideas, these business ideas, and they were all over the place. You know what I mean? There's no real clarity in any of this stuff. And then I spoke some clarity into him. I tried to get him, just honed in on one thing. That way he can run with it and double down on it if it works and if he likes it and if he wants to replicate it. So, fast forward, pretty much he wants an opportunity to learn the wholesaling game. And, I'm going to be a beacon of information. I'm not going to gatekeep. I'm going to tell you exactly what I know. And if I don't know it, I'll point you in the direction of somebody that does know it. So, pretty much, we connected one day. I drove him out to a property, and we pulled up to it. The seller was there. I pulled out my phone and I showed him a screenshot of the assignment fee, and it was probably like $20,000. And mind you, bro at this point is still working a 9-to-5 job. He's making probably $30,000 in 1 year. In 12-month span, he's making $30,000, and this isn't like a BS job. He's doing back-breaking work for this $30,000 in 1 year.
Digging holes
for a living. And I just ripped $20,000 in 15 days. So right there, that's just eye-opening. Taking somebody from a 9-to-5 that just worked 12 months for $30,000 and then sitting next to somebody that just made $20,000 in 15 days. It's insane. So at that point, that's when he was hooked. You know what I mean? When he's seen the assignment fee. So at that point, this seemed like something he wanted to pursue. So I continued with it. I said, all right, I'll give you an opportunity, man, not a problem. So I didn't overload him or anything like that. He's brand new to it. So I gave it to him piece by piece, stuff that he could run with. I gave him one task, and he actually came back to me with it done. And I'm like, damn. So guys, keep this in mind. If you want to learn from somebody and you don't have a whole lot of experience and you have zero experience, the best way to provide them value is actually showing up, being about your word,
and doing
the most. Because here's the thing. A lot of people ask me for opportunities to wholesale to make, 10, 20K. It's, to us, it might be, easy, but to them, it seems mind-blowing. So when somebody like us or anybody else in your network gives you an opportunity and you have zero skills, you're not providing any sort of value whatsoever because you're skillless. But the way you can provide value is actually keeping your word and actually knocking out, the tasks that they give you in the best possible way you can do it. Don't half-ass this shit. You know what I mean? So that's what he did. I gave him one task, and he actually came back. I was actually surprised. I thought this guy was going to fold, you know what I mean, after task like 5. Because most people do. That's just what happens. That's just the nature of it. So he actually came back, and I'm like, damn, okay. So that right there earned my respect. I'm like, wow, this is actually somebody I can spend time on because
While working my 9-to-5.
Yes, keep in mind, he's working his 9-to-5. And I see the value in this, you know what I mean? A lot of people, they talk, and they say they're going to come through, but do they? 5 times out of 10, they don't. And sometimes they do. And in this case, he did, which was incredible. And then at that point, I started pouring more and more of my time and resources into him. So, we're making this progress. And, I tell him, hey, look, so this is what you're going to do. You don't have a whole lot of money, but you got time. So listen, guys, if you don't have a whole lot of money, but you have the time, there's still free ways to find these deals in your city, unless you live in some rural town that nobody knows of. But for the most part, we don't. So listen, I told him, look, you're going to drive around your city. You're going to find shitbox houses in decent neighborhoods. And that's going to be your fastest ticket to a deal without you, having to run marketing, having to do the most. You know what I mean? Just work with what you got. You know what I mean? Work with what you got. Be resourceful. You know what I mean? You have a car. You have gas. You have enough money to put gas in the tank. You know what I mean? To keep driving around, to keep doing this. Even though there's no guarantee you're going to get paid. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing here. So, bro actually did it. He accumulated a list of houses that were messed up in our area. And I sat him down and I said, look, this is how you skip trace them. You're going to put them on an Excel spreadsheet, line by line, and we're going to go through them, and we're going to dial each one of them one by one. And that's what we did for a period of time, for a period of, a couple weeks. And then, boom, that's when he came across a motivated seller. And, of course, I was coaching him. I was, right next to him. But I was giving him real-time, coaching, real-live coaching. And, we got a property under contract, and that was his first $10,000 deal, which was incredible. And this was all from just using your resources, your time, making an actual effort, you know what I mean? Not just, getting 3 houses down and calling it a day, but actually like driving around till sundown, till it's dark outside, and you got to go back home because your tank's on E. You know what I mean? That's what it took, and that's what he did. So he used his resources. So driving for dollars was one of them to get his first deal. The second way was Facebook, guys. Don't sleep on Facebook Marketplace. The second one, he was on Facebook Marketplace. And we found a second motivated seller. And we came to find out later, after we had him under contract, that somebody else in our network actually reached out to them first. But since we were so on point and we made them the offer, we got them under contract because we actually made them an offer. And I actually backed my offer with, facts, with comps, area facts. So it all just made sense. But the other guy, we beat him out because he just dropped the ball completely. The lead slipped through the crack, and this was a free lead. I mean, it cost $0, except, some time on Facebook, guys. So execution. We executed. I called him back. I made the offer. It was low as hell. I price anchored him really low, but, I told them why, and I explained myself. I didn't just say, hey, I'm going to offer you, $100,000 less than you're asking, and that's that. No, I came back with facts. I walked them through why it's going to cost that, why at my price, it makes sense because I'm taking on all the risk, all the liability, all the cost on this deal. So when you frame it in that manner, it really makes sense, and you can get through to somebody that's motivated. If they're not motivated, forget it. You're not going to get through to them. It's like talking to a brick wall. So that's another thing, So we did one deal, we did a second, and then, at that point, he had enough money to live on, and that was about it. You know what I mean? He wasn't balling out. We weren't going to Chile, stuff like that. We weren't traveling. You know what I mean? So after that point, man, that's when things, it started to get slow and a little bit rough because, he's still learning the skill. He's still trying to go full time in it, but he's just not ready yet because he's not the man, that can go full time into something like this because he just doesn't have that skill and foundation just yet. So pretty much, fast forward, this is something that was on his mind daily, you know what I mean? He was telling his coworkers about it, and, God's timing is incredible because he actually got, what happened? You got fired.
Yep. So I was working my freaking butt off at what everything John was telling me to do. If you got a mentor and he's showing you the ropes, bro, humble yourself and do what he tells you to do, okay? He wants you to succeed like he succeeds, right? So then I closed those 2 deals. I felt like I was on top of the world, honestly, right? It's not like retirement money or whatnot, but I felt like I was on top of the world. It's like, Oh my gosh, going from 30K to making freaking 5, 10, like in a matter of a month is just bonkers to me, right? Yeah. Unheard of. And so...
And mind you, nobody in his circle is doing this. You know what I mean? Everybody's like,
no one. It's just all my motivation and what I wanted and what I saw myself that I could become. And it's all self-belief and through faith with God, right? But I was working this job and I was freaking working another job after for with John Foster, and I guess my coworkers started to notice and they started to just say things that I wasn't doing in the workplace. Sometimes I would leave early to go do wholesaling, you know what I'm saying?
Because cold call,
cold call, driving for dollars and whatnot. And then one day I walk into the office and my boss is like, hey, sit over there. And, he has the team meeting in the morning. And I'm like, I wonder what this could be about, right? And so he says, all right, come in. Everybody leaves. I go into the office, just me and the two bosses. And he goes, hey, Alex, I'm going to have to let you go. And I'm like, I looked at him. I was like, well, I mean, you're firing me? He's like, yeah, I'm letting you go. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, okay, just leave. I didn't ask him why. I didn't beg him. I didn't do any of that because it just didn't feel right. I trusted my gut, and that was God. That was a God-given sign right there, let me tell you, because that was insane. And so I left. I get in my car, my Honda Civic, paid off. It's a good thing. And I get in there. I call John Foster. I'm like, John, dude, I just got fired, man. And then he chuckles a bit, right? But because he knows what's happening.
Yeah.
Me, okay, yeah, I made 5, 10, whatever. But my mindset was still developing. God was getting me ready for another level. It's all about levels, you guys. And afterwards, I went home, and guess what? I kept working. I kept doing it. And then it started to become to a point where my back was against the wall. Like, you ever hear, John Johnson, you ever, when you go through a point in life that is so difficult, and then when you succeed and you keep having that faith, you keep believing in yourself when no one else does, when everything seems like it's about to fall apart, and then you succeed. You ever had that?
Absolutely.
You ever had that? That's what happened to me. And
I
it
know
was
you
for
guys
the
can
longest.
relate.
It was for the longest time. Let me tell you, my back against the wall. John Foster knows everything that's happened. I'm talking like 6 months till my next deal.
Yeah.
I'm over here.
And that's what it
Pinching
took you
pennies,
guys.
man.
That's what it took you guys. And if you guys are just starting out, you want to jump into this, keep in mind, man, this is not a 9-to-5 job. You're not going to get paid on the same day you make that cold call. And then that's what I really prepped for him, because that's what breaks a lot of people in the entrepreneurial space. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. So I really try to warm them up to that. But you can only tell somebody so much until they experience that and have contrast from that negative situation to be able to learn from it and get clarity and really understand what they're telling you, because you might hear it but you're not gonna really hear it. You know what I mean?
Yep. And I could relate to that, because John Foster, man, he was stern-headed. He knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's saying. But I just didn't understand it. I wasn't ready to understand. Right? There were still things that I needed to fix and needed to change for me to understand the concepts. Like that conversation yesterday, we were on a point, bro. We were on frequency with that.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's say 6 months ago, if I was in a conversation with you guys, I'd be like, what are they talking about? I'd be
doom scrolling.
I'd be tuned out. But anyways, it all comes down to, I lost my train of thought a bit. Give me a second. So back against the wall.
Fired, 6 months without pay.
6 months
Gets
without
fired.
pay. I'm working. Like,
guys,
I'm talking
keep in mind,
nonstop.
Guys, keep in mind. He mentions that I chuckle. Guys, I'm not necessarily, I'm not gonna be an a-hole, but I laughed because it was funny, because in the moment his world's kind of, falling apart.
Yeah.
But from the outside looking in, I knew this was the start of an incredible opportunity, because this was something he actually wanted to pursue. This is something he wanted to put himself in alignment with, not just wholesaling. I'm talking about entrepreneurship. This is somebody that at heart, wants to be, their own man and have, be a man of means, essentially, not working for the man and depending on somebody else to, for money. So that's why I laugh, because I seen this as the start of something incredible, the start of the life he wants to actually live. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's not too far-fetched.
No, it's not. It's really not. And, let me tell you this. When your back is against that wall, when you feel like giving up, you're right there next to the gold. Do not stop. Have that motivation. Get in proximity with people with the same energy, the same frequency, and you will prevail. Keep God number one in your heart, and you will prevail. Let me tell you that. I'm serious. And so then we get a list of John Foster tells me, he's like, yo, hit up this place, go hard. That's what I do, man. I go crazy, man. I don't stop, man.
Yeah.
And so then I'm dialing.
Determined.
I come across this person, right? Banging deal.
Yeah.
I give it to John. John starts doing the backflip. Bro, this guy.
I close him.
This guy is the most Parker.
Yeah. So this gentleman, this seller, it was an incredible deal. The spread, was there. It was like a spread, in the 50, 60,000. It's just a wholesale deal. You know what I mean? We didn't have to flip the house. That was the best part. Some people make 60K on a flip. We're making 60K on, the assignment, which, that's a really, really good deal to us at least. So So yeah, I mean, the way this deal went was we reached out to the seller. He expressed motivation. You know, as soon as I knew that, then the lead was delegated to me, and then I got on the phone with the seller, and you know, I pretty much got him to the point where I got him to commit on the price. But the whole thing he was getting hung up on was there was a lot of emotional ties to this property, which you will come across. Every property has their own story. So that was what was happening here. He was just so emotionally tied to it because of his family that what made more sense to him was selling the property to the neighbor and taking a $50,000 haircut on price just because he felt like that was what was right in his heart. So, you know, I'm not going to tell him otherwise. God bless him. We ended up letting him go. But keep in mind, at this point, Alex is, you know, 5, 6, you know, probably 4 or 5 months in without getting paid. But he's still working. He's still working. He's still going. He hasn't broken or folded, which, you know, I can admire that because most people would have. And that would have been the end of it. All that time I poured into him would have been poof like that, a waste. You know what I mean? And it happens. So here's the thing. So that deal, it was supposed to be like kind of his breakthrough. And, you know, a $60K deal, that's mind-blowing to somebody that just worked a 9 to 5 for 1 year just to make hopefully $30,000 in 12 months time, which is crazy. So pretty much, you know, we thought that deal was incredible because of the spread and the scenario. We thought it was a home run until, you know, it just totally fell apart and dissolved. And at that point, you know, personally, I can weather the storm. You know, I got a pipeline, and to me, it was just another lead that, you know, we could follow up on down the line if it doesn't actually end up going through with a transaction. But in his eyes, this lead, you know, was supposed to push him to that next level. And, you know, I'm sure in his mind he was kind of already, you know, he's like, okay, you know, I can put aside this, that, and the third. But, you know, as soon as that deal, you know, you find out that deal is just poof, gone. It's not happening. Oof. It's not closing. That's such a shitty feeling on the inside, you know what I mean?
That was
the money that you thought, you know, you were going to receive at closing, now it's non-existent. It's not going to happen, you know what I mean? So that's what happened on this deal. And this guy, you know, it was shitty. It's a shitty feeling. But you know what? I told him, dude, this is the nature of the game. Contracts are going to fall out of place. You know what I mean? They're going to fall out, you know, for whatever unforeseen reason. It could be DD period. It could be, you know, anything. You know what I mean? So you cannot count your chickens before they hatch, because that's what happened in this scenario. And he really took it to the gut because of that. So he was able to learn the contrast in that situation. You know, that was a big learning curve because I told him, hey, man, deals fall apart and, you know, deals can go to shit, you know, just in a matter of, you know, a day. So that's what happened. But obviously, you know, it took that experience to really learn what I meant by that. So fast forward, you know, I'd say 5 days. You know, he's still working. Still at it. Still doing outreach, guys.
When that deal fell through, I was seriously about to like
get a job.
I wouldn't even say that. Worse.
Worse.
I was betting all on black.
Yeah.
You know, you got to go all in.
Yeah.
You can't half-ass this, man. You really can't. You got to go all in.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And even when that deal fell through, I had so much confidence. I was broken, but I still had confidence in myself, and I still had faith.
You had faith. That was the biggest one.
Huge faith. And guess what? I didn't stop. 5 days later. Seems like a lot, but it's not.
Yeah.
God,
guys,
what'd you
listen
say?
to this.
God gives me what I need, not what. What were you saying?
It's that God always gives us what we need. We never lack.
We never lack. God has given me everything that I needed to survive up to that point.
Right.
Up to that point, right?
Guys,
see, and this is biblical, right? You got to go to the book of Matthew, and he talks about the birds. You know, they don't weep nor swallow. You know, they get the worms, right? God gives the birds worms, but he's not going to put the worms in the bird's nest. Nope. You see what I'm saying? The birds got to go hunt, and they got to go get the worms. You see what I'm saying? The opportunity is out there and is waiting for us, and it's always present. It's always abundance. It's always there, but we have to be proactive. Yep. We got to be the ones to go and get after it. Everybody wants to pray to God, and there's nothing wrong with praying to God. You're supposed to pray to God. You're supposed to ask God for clarity, ask God for guidance, ask God for a mission, ask God for help, but he's going to give you the blueprint, but you got to run the play. He might be the coach. You look at sports. you're playing on a football field or a basketball court. He gave you the play, but you got to play the ball. You got to run it. You got to run it down.
Yeah.
You got to go.
Yeah, you got to make the play. You know what I mean? You got to follow through. You got to execute.
That's exactly what I did. 5 days later,
he gets a call.
I get a call.
He gets a call from a lead. A lead comes in.
From a voicemail.
Yeah.
From a voicemail that I left saying like, oh, like, and that was when I was still like dialing.
Yeah.
That was like, I was still dialing, leaving my own voicemails, not no other technical stuff. Yeah. I'm over here. I left that personal voicemail. And I was like, oh, just another voicemail,
yeah,
you know?
But he had faith
like,
to continue,
but I still
guys.
had faith, you know? I still did the work. And, bro, this guy called me back saying he wants to sell his property. I run through what I needed to run through. I passed it over to John. Yeah. John, the closer.
He gives me the layup.
Yeah.
He gives me the layup.
Thing, man. I give him the layup. I'm D-Wade. This guy is freaking LeBron James about to dunk it, man.
Yeah, man.
And guess what? He completed it. He dunked it. And,
yeah, let me take it away. So, yeah, pretty much, he qualified the seller. It all sounded great. Mind you, I was on the other line when he took this, and I was listening, you know, coaching him, guiding him on what to say, you know what I mean, to handle it like I would have, you know, and sound like a professional, not an amateur. You always want to, you know, take your advice from a professional so you don't sound like an amateur, you know what I mean? So, pretty much, get on the phone, and this guy, you know, he's motivated. He's actually ready to part ways with the property, guys. You know, a lot of us might be chasing a lead that's not motivated. You know, put a bit in the follow-up. You know, there'll be a time where he might come forward and he might do a deal with you, but if not, God bless him. He doesn't have to. There's plenty of people that want to do business, you know, with investors. So, pretty much, I got on the phone with him, and, you know, I actually seen the potential here and the value that this was a motivated seller. So, you know, we start talking price. I line up my buyer on the back end, and, I mean, this deal was, you know, we didn't expect this. It was so unexpected, and let me tell you why. This deal, we thought the last deal was good. Let me tell you. This house, guys, I kid you not, this house was 5 houses down from the last lead that we just, you know, lost, essentially. So, mind you, we thought the last one was good. Little did we know, we got this blessing from God. I mean, who else could it be, you know?
A hop and a skip away from the last deal.
A hop and a skip away. This deal turned out to be a $75,000 deal, 5 houses down. I had the buyer... I had the buyer lined up on the back end, and I mean, everything was just aligned. Everything was in sync.
Just worked perfectly.
And then, you know, move forward to title. We move forward to closing, and boom, the deal closes. The buyer ecstatic about the property. It was a home run deal. I mean, that's why we made the amount we did, because we provided the buyer such great value that he was excited to pay us that assignment fee to take on that property. Now, the sellers, they were more than pleased with the process. We made it hassle-free. We made it simple. And we gave him an incredible experience, a hands-off experience. He wasn't having to call title companies. He didn't have to run paperwork anywhere. You know, I made sure the title company took care of us. I made sure I took care of, you know, the buyer and the seller. And I made sure everything was hassle-free and smooth. I gave everybody a great experience. And, you know, that's why we do, you know, such repeat business, you know, with these buyers. But here's the thing. If he didn't have faith, he wouldn't have, you know, kept moving forward and making those calls. And this lead wouldn't have materialized whatsoever, you know what I mean? For him, at least. And it just shows, you know, even when you think stuff's going to shit, you should be thankful and you should look at it like, good, okay, what's, you know, something great that could come about this? You know, there's going to be something even better lined up that's going to come next from this. You know what I mean? A deal fell through. All right, no problem. There's going to be an even better deal that's going to come down the line from your efforts if you keep putting in the work and don't get discouraged.
Yes.
And I mean, that deal was even better than we thought. You know what I mean? At the time, I was calculating a lower assignment fee. I pitched it out to my buyer, and he gave me no fuss, and he was happy to pay the price that I marked it up to. And I think we made even 10 grand more than what we projected the first time. So keep in mind that. So, I mean, that was incredible within itself. But, guys, between that whole period, I mean, it was such a learning experience because you're taking somebody from a 9-to-5 position and you're putting them in the entrepreneurial seat. And that's the hot seat. That's the seat where you make your own calls. You make your own decisions. And you know what I mean?
It's all on you. You don't got a boss.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's when you really, you know, have to put in the grit and actually show up for yourself. You know what I mean? This isn't just some mindless, you know, game where you show up, you clock in, you clock out, and then you stop thinking. You know what I mean?
the leads appear. Nah, you gotta go find those leads.
Exactly. Now, I mean, that was just really great because it's just so crazy to think, we had one deal we thought was just so incredible, fell through, super bummed out, and then here we are a couple days later, he got a call back, guys, and then, we end up doing that deal, and then now, he's at that next level to where now he's learning, the next phase of the level he's at, you know what I mean? Now he's, sitting comfortably with that paycheck, and, now he's able to really, pursue this on a deeper level. He's not in the scarcity mindset. Oh, I need to make money. I need fast cash to survive and eat. You know what I mean? He's at the point where now he can actually have clarity on moving forward and being able to make better decisions, make wiser decisions, because he's not thinking, oh, I need that paycheck today. You know what I mean? He learned the value of, make the dial today and you'll get paid for it intrinsically. You know what I mean? It might be next week. It might be in 2 months. It might have the conversation. Keep talking to people. You never know who's on the other line. You know what I mean, guys? It could be a buyer. It could be a seller. You never know. So that's the power of, always talking to people, but always having faith. You know what I mean? And going into it knowing that. You know what I mean? Now, fast forward.
After that deal closed,
yeah.
I was able to really get my head on straight and complete the things that I needed to complete. And I just thank God for that. And then I hopped on List Blast. My boy John Johnson. If you're not in List Blast, you're
guys.
missing out. But I did a whole bunch of stuff that's like super personal, and then I ended up coming to Chile. You know why? Because I put in the work. I have self-confidence, and I'm able to do it. Like, I have that self-belief that I'm able to do. I'm the person now that I believed I could be 12 years ago. You got to believe it. You got to see it before it even happens. You got to envision yourself where you want to be before it even happens. Let me tell you, this is all just in the span of 12 months, people.
Guys.
Like, I don't think you guys understand this. 12 months, your life can change drastically if you take it seriously and you have that focus. I'm a true testament to that statement.
Yeah, 100%.
I am a true testament.
Guys, and I'm talking like within the span of 12 months. I mean, this guy's, moved to a different city with, a partner in his life that's very special to him.
My very beautiful wife. I love you.
Shout her out.
Shout out to her.
Shout out.
She's great. But yeah, guys, listen, this is serious. This is his life. This is his reality. He went from 9 to 5, being stuck, no clarity, feeling miserable, to now he's actually leveling up in his life. And guys,
everything happens for a reason. God will remove the people out of your life that he needs to remove. And he will put you in proximity with people like John Foster and John Johnson. Do you think 12 months ago I'd be in Chile looking at this beautiful view with John Johnson and John Foster? Let me tell you, no, I did not, but I knew who I wanted to become. And the person that I am today likes being in proximity with these type of people. Let me tell you that.
In these kind of places.
In these types of places, okay? Anything is possible. Put your head in the game. Get your head in the game, man. Seriously.
Yeah, and guys, seriously, it's just, think about it. The trajectory of his life has just, just shot upwards, just based off taking action and having faith, really.
And it wasn't easy because I did have a lot of limiting beliefs. And that was because of the people that I was hanging and surrounding myself with, and the regular norm bull crap that people teach you is fake, and you don't need to pay attention to that. You can create your own reality, stick to it, and have that faith in God, and everything will work out. You just got to do the work, man. That's all it is. Stop being scared. Pick up the damn phone and call a damn seller, and you will prevail. I'm telling you that. I'm serious.
100%.
I'm like speaking from the heart right now.
Yeah,
man.
no, and guys, this is his reality, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And seriously, it could be anybody else's. We're no different than anybody. We just did the work. That's all we did.
No different, man.
And you see that what we were talking about yesterday was, we're driving around, we're going to the go-kart place. We're trying to see if we can get a little race in, what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we got to get a race in here today.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
sir.
the lady, she's there. It's crazy, right? We drive into the go-kart spot.
Yeah.
We drive on the wrong side, right? This lady, she stops us, immediately stops us, says, back it up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Back up the truck. We got to back up the truck. She closes us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she gets us to go the right way, follow her process, you know what I'm saying? All that over $3. Okay, so this was what the huge take home was.
3 pesos.
All this for 3 pesos. 3,000 is $3, 3 US. The idea is the effort is the same, the vehicle changes, right? The amount of focused energy is the same. Is that she's just focusing on a $3 transaction, and then we're focusing on 10, 15, 20, 50, $100,000 transactions. There's also relativity, because there are people right now that spend the same amount of time that we're spending doing what we do to make billions of dollars, right? So we got to figure out, you know, how to elevate and focus on the things that are actually going to get us in a position where we can receive larger amounts of money. It's not that people are not working hard at their job. It's that they're working hard on something that's not pushing the needle for them in their life, right? And if they can change that and they can start to focus on things that are actually going to put them in a position to be able to receive these bigger checks, that's where life changes, right? Because what you focus on, you attract more of, right?
That's
and if
big.
you're focusing on having conversations with people about $5, $10, $15 transactions, counting out change at Publix, you're not going to be able to receive 15, 20,
No.
50, 30,
No.
$100,000 deals coming and hitting your phone because you're not talking about it.
No, you're not in alignment with it.
You're not in alignment with it. You're not on the right frequency. So like everybody that hears, and I know this is getting more popular, frequency and tuning in and law of attraction and that sort of thing. It's kind of like weird to understand at the beginning.
Yep.
Because it's like these are different words. Nobody's using these words, but you have to understand it's not boo-hoo woo-hoo out of the ordinary stuff. This is very realistic stuff, and it's very practical if you can understand what's really happening. And what's really happening is what you are focused on, you will find. If you focus on finding discounted real estate, you will find great deals. You will find massive deals.
Yes, sir.
If you focus on $5 big boxes or the dollar menu at McDonald's,
Come on, man.
you will find big dollar deals. You'll get the 30% off, 30 cents here. Hey, I gotta save. You know, we gotta go to this gas station. You know, it's 5 cents cheaper than the next.
Yeah.
But you have to understand, if you start to focus on things that are bigger picture, all right, and you start focusing on, all right, how am I gonna make $100,000 this month? Matter of fact, this week. How about today?
Yeah.
Right? What deal can I close today that's gonna put me in a position where I net $100,000?
Yes,
You
sir.
only need one deed.
Yes,
You
sir.
can get the equity immediately from somebody that's
Be
motivated.
resourceful.
That's the whole thing. It's
Yeah.
never a lack of resources. It's always a lack of resourcefulness. Somebody asked me, he said, John, you know, I want $20,000 for this property. Let's say, okay, I'm just getting started. I'm still living with my mom. I don't know what to do. Most people stop right there and they say, I can't afford that. And this is where it comes back to the self-belief, the self-dialogue, and the internal beliefs that we hold.
The limiting beliefs.
The limiting beliefs. He tells himself, I can't afford that. That's it. That's the end of the story. He doesn't even give himself a chance to write the new story, to create the new script for himself. He never even asks himself, how can I afford this?
Yeah.
What can I do to make this possible? Right? That's the resourcefulness. That's how we get to it. That's how we find these buyers. Most people get started in wholesaling. They don't have the money to go and buy these properties themselves, but they don't stop there. That's not, oh, well, I'm broke right now and I don't have money to buy the property myself, so I can't make any money on this deal. They say, who's going to buy this deal from me?
Broke's a mindset, guys.
They're going to put themselves in a position to sell that contract to somebody else for a profit. How many other ways can you think about getting creative and profiting in a similar manner? You got to think about these things. Don't tell yourself, oh, I'm broke or I can't afford that. How can I afford that? Who can I call? Who are the people in your network?
Yes.
You got to understand.
Yes.
Just in this community alone, I've got a friend of mine that's pulling $100,000 a week
Ooh, baby.
from lenders in this community alone, just by having great deals and putting them in front of people that are motivated to get in the game.
Yes, sir.
$100,000 a week. Are you kidding me?
That's
And you're telling me
incredible.
you can't come up with 20,000?
It's crazy,
With
man.
with $1,000, you can't come up with $1,000.
Guys,
One man?
Guys, put it into perspective.
Come on now.
When you put it like that, I mean, it seems a lot more closer and more attainable than you guys really think.
Yeah.
It
If
is
you're, if
closer.
you're starting out, you know what I mean?
You know, nothing is without of your reach. Everything is
Nothing.
within reach.
Yeah.
Yes. Start working on those limiting beliefs right now. Like I'm telling you, get those damn negative words out of your vocabulary, out of your mindset. Remove those negative people, and I'm telling you, you will start to excel.
Change.
You will start to change. You
Yeah,
will
grow.
feel it.
You'll grow
You will
from
grow.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, it's
Dago says, whether you think you can or can't, you're right. That's absolutely correct. There is a human being just like you that owns a 100-story building.
Yes.
Why can't you? Why can't
Yes.
I? We were just talking about
Love
that.
it.
We're looking out here. We're seeing all of these houses. We're seeing all of these lots that are available. And the first thing that comes to my mind is, well, how are we going to develop here, right? Because that's what we want to do.
How can we build on that thing?
How do we
Yeah.
build? How do we get the money? How do we source the deal? How do we figure this out? Because that's the vision. That's what we want to accomplish. And somebody did it. Their house is here. Somebody did it.
And guys, you know, we're blessed to even be lucky enough to have that vision, to even have that thought in our head to say, okay, we want to go develop that, you know, building over there, that 100 unit over there. All right, we got to work backwards from there. We got to find, you know, we got to acquire the land. We got to find the lender. You know, we got to make sure it's positioned right. And, you know, just work backwards from there. That's all you got to do. But you need to have that vision. You need to be, you know, you got to just be in the tune to even have that type of thought. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause a lot of people don't. They don't have, you know, clarity. They don't even have that vision. They're not even lucky enough to have a vision. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because they don't have clarity. So
And we
that's
ask
huge.
ourselves, because, you know, where we're at, you see super wealthy people, you see the ultimate, the elite of the elite, and then you see, you know, poverty.
Oh yeah,
And we ask ourselves, you know, well, why is it that people decide to live in the shack?
yeah.
Why is it that people decide to
yeah.
live on Section 8?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why is it that they decide that? It's because they don't know any better.
That's all they know, guys. That's all they know.
That's all they know.
And that, you know, they never, you know, chose, or maybe they didn't have the resources to get out of that. But if you do have the resources and you're just being a lazy ass, then that's on you. But you, deep down, you know that you can make a change because you have all the resources you need.
If you're watching this
you got a
stream right now-
phone, you can make it happen.
Absolutely.
One call, and that could be, you know, your 100K lender, your $1 million lender. You know what I mean? You don't necessarily need the money. You just need to have that vision and be able to work backwards from there. And obviously have the right connection of people to make it happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The right people in the right seats.
Being in this community right now, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, has completely changed my reality. The stuff that we bring on, the people that we bring on, the education that we expose ourselves to, the information that we've been privileged, blessed to be receiving, has changed my life, bro. It's not that I knew all of this and I just decided to put this together. I'm learning every single day. And to continue to just stay in proximity with people that know more than you is such a blessing. And they're here in this very community.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, go watch the podcast, go get involved, talk in the chat, get in the voice, talk in general. You'll find these people. They're in here. I'm telling you, if $100,000 is coming out of this community every single week for deals, the money is here.
Guys.
It's not a lack of resources. It is a lack of resourcefulness.
Yeah, make yourself resourceful when you ain't got nothing. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's not that, it may not even be that you don't have anything, you know what I mean? It's just the fact that you can use your resources. If I was pressed today and I needed to come up with 100 grand, 200 grand, 300 grand, I'm resourceful enough to pick up my phone, make one call, and have a wire sent in within 24 hours because I'm that resourceful, because I'm establishing my network, because I don't, I'm not bankrolling, 100, 200, 300 grand, every month for, these properties. You were scaling using OPM, stuff like that. So, I mean, it all comes, full circle if you make it happen.
If you have the desire, right, and you have the need, and you act on it, you will get it. There's nobody that really wants something out of life, I feel like, that actually wants it, that doesn't have what they get. Like, that
Deep
doesn't
down.
get what they want.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because if they don't have it, they didn't really want it.
Guys,
It might have been interesting, they might have been curious about it. But if you want something, you commit to it and you make it happen.
Guys, have you ever seen a crackhead that didn't get high on crack? They're broke and they're homeless, but somehow they're still getting
It
high.
might take time,
But
you
they're,
gotta get that
but
crack.
they're gonna find that crack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm sorry to give you guys such a crazy example, but
It's a
it's
great
the
one.
truth. Somebody with damn near no resources,
Yeah.
held back, economically challenged, you know what I mean? But he still manages to get high. Guys, you can apply that same philosophy to your life, you know what I mean? Like, make it happen, you know what I mean? Even
Absolutely.
if you don't have, everything you need right now, or maybe you
Well,
don't
some
think
people
you
think they don't
Yeah,
have
they
everything they
think
need,
they
but
don't
they
have-
really do. You see,
Yeah.
and it goes back to, you got to believe, man. You got to believe in the word, and you got to believe that you do have everything you need, because you really do.
Yeah.
And we never have any lack. We're laughing at this.
Yeah.
We never have any lack. See, if you really look back at your life, I guarantee you, if you've made it to this point, number one, you survived all of your worst days, right? Every day you thought you were not going to survive.
Yeah.
Every day you thought world was going to end.
Yeah.
Every day you thought you were going to die, you were going to go hungry, whatever. Life is over. You're going bankrupt. You made it through. You're still here. You can still turn it around. This is one of the things I just don't quite understand. In terms of like an emotional perspective, I understand, if you have to file for bankruptcy because it makes sense, in your business world, right? Where you're now, okay, yeah, I'm going to start fresh, whatever. That's one thing. You dissolve an entity, you do it over again. But people that personally just decide, oh, well, there's nothing I'm going to be able to do. I can't get out of the situation. They want that for themselves. You know what I'm saying? They choose that over writing another story, even if it's difficult, man. Like, the fact that we have the ability to get on a phone, have a conversation with someone, and get off the phone a little bit more rich is just mind-blowing. You can have that call from anywhere in the world. You know what I'm saying? We're here in Chile. I've got people walking properties today, right now. I'm sending inspectors to this property. I've got a buyer walking another novation that came off List Blast. Shout out List Blast. And I'm nowhere near those properties. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even there. I'm not on the
same
phone.
Country, guys.
Bro,
we're in a different country, guys.
We're nowhere near it. You know what I'm saying? And so it all goes back to your beliefs and what you believe. And if you believe that you are not worthy of what you want, how is it that you would be able to put yourself in a position to receive?
To go get it, you know what I mean?
Or to go get it.
Come to you, really.
Yeah. Really, yeah, it is about receiving. We really don't have to go out and chase things. You know what I'm saying? We need to first feel that it is possible for us to receive it. And then what happens is we just naturally gravitate towards the path, right? The path is immediately presented to you. Whatever it is you want, the path is now. It's happening now. Alex, yesterday we had this moment. It was like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. He's like, yeah, I always wanted this to be my life. This is going to be my reality. This will be my reality. John said, this is your reality.
I mean, dude, wake up, look around, man.
We're here right now.
This is your reality. This is what you wanted.
It's happening.
You asked for this, and look around. It's it's materialized.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dude, that moment right there, let me tell you, that moment was the most mind-blowing moment. Because look at that. I didn't even realize what I was saying. And then my buddy over here, because I keep close in proximity with, called me out and said, bro, use your brain. This is your reality. You're here right now, dude. This is what you prayed for. This is what you envisioned yourself for, man. And you're here, man. Like
step into your blessing, bro.
Step into your blessing,
Your
dude.
time is now.
Dude, when I booked this thing, I was like, oh, it's just, trip to Chile, chill with John Johnson, John Foster. Dude, it got deep. It got deep.
It was deeper than just a little trip.
It was deeper than just a trip, bro. It gave me clarity that I'm on the right path to becoming the bigger person that I am today. Like, I'm going to be bigger and better coming soon, man. Like, I'm just on that next
He's
level.
already there. He's still doing it. He's already there. He's already there. You're already here.
Dude, I'm already here. Okay?
You're already here.
I'm on.
We don't have to put it
level,
outside
man.
of ourselves. The path presents itself. You're sitting next to me in Chile, the guy that doing this business, and you know what I'm saying, from anywhere, and you're now doing it from anywhere. You see what I'm saying?
Dude.
John Foster is doing it from anywhere. We're here right now. He's negotiating. He's getting his text coming in. He's still working. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's the whole thing, is that we can do it from anywhere. And this is just the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Right now, look, go back a couple years, we were making, I don't know, did you ever have a minimum wage job or a job?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You were a plumber,
We're in
right?
the trades, yeah.
Yeah, this guy was a plumber. You're a plumber, and you got a guy digging holes, and then you had me, and I don't even know what I was up to, man. I was all over the place, man. But I made it happen some way or another, man. I was at a barista at a Dunkin'. I was at Dunkin'.
I was as well.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, barista.
Yeah, I was a barista.
That's kind of weird.
I was a waiter
as well, man.
That's really true.
Dunkin', bro.
Wow.
Get out of here.
No, man, but then you look back at that, right? And we were all there, and we were all making what, $15 an hour?
Yeah, minimum.
And I mean, we didn't stay there. Some of us stayed there longer than others. I stayed for one paycheck. I got $500. I was out of there. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know what else to do. But
goodness,
you look at how we were spending our time then. We were spending our time to make little money.
Yeah.
But there's so many people around you that are like, oh no, but like the pay is good. You know what I'm saying? Like the pay, this is good money. I'm making good money. You know what I'm saying? They have $2,000 saved up in their bank, and that's it. Maybe less. Maybe they don't even have $2,000. Most people don't even have $1,000 to their name. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's it. They don't have anything coming. That's it. They don't got nothing. They don't have $1,000 to put together at a drop of a dime. They couldn't go up to the ATM and take out $100. You got to understand, that's where a lot of people are at in the United States right now. But here's the deal. They were spending their time and investing in that dream. But that's not their dream. That's somebody else's dream. They were sold that dream.
Yep.
Did they create that dream? Probably not. I don't know anybody that's like really waking up and thinking like, oh no, man, I really want to go to work today. I love Dunkin'. You know what I'm saying? I love to make coffee.
Yeah. And hey, maybe you are that guy, but listen, you're applying that effort at the wrong, maybe task, or you're applying at the wrong job. You know what I mean?
Well, no entrepreneur that I know.
Okay.
And that's the other thing we were talking about too, is that not everybody can be an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not everybody should be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, 100%.
No, everybody should not be an entrepreneur, because this is definitely not for the faint of heart. You got to really be kind of crazy, to do something like this. You got to have blind faith.
Just a little, yep.
Yeah.
But I will say, man, being an entrepreneur, I think has brought me closer to God than anything else in my entire life.
Amen.
Entrepreneurship and skateboarding, outside of stuff like marriage and just growing up in general. But like those two things in my early life, I think were the things that really made me believe and have faith. Right, because you got to believe like the skateboard is going to land and you're going to be able to catch it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It could be the same with sports. You got to believe that the shot's going to go in. You got to believe that your business is going to succeed.
Yeah.
You got to believe that the money that you're spending on your marketing is actually going to yield something. Same thing with like farming. You're planting a seed one day. You got to water that seed. You just got a house plant. You're watering the flower every day. You don't know until you have to have faith. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Until it sprouts up and you see it. But it's that faith. The Bible tells you have to have the faith of a mustard seed. And if you have the faith of a mustard seed, it will be yours.
Yes.
And guys, don't wait for the perfect moment, okay? A farmer never plants, if he's going to wait for the perfect moment. So right now is the perfect moment. Right now, you know what I mean? You're never going to plant that seed if you're waiting around for that perfect moment.
That's true.
Just do it. Just do it. Make the leap, you know what I mean? Don't put yourself in a bind, but work your way up to that position to where you can actually make a leap into something, full time, whether it's entrepreneurship or whatever else direction you want to take it. So don't wait for perfection.
Absolutely.
Farmer never plants if he waits for perfection.
Absolutely.
But yeah. This is good, man.
This is good.
It's good. Does anybody what's the chat saying?
We got a lot of people. Too many people building great foundations and then running off to build another one. That's absolutely true. That's what we were talking about yesterday as well, about focus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to lock in on one thing and you got to see it through. See, you can't just jump, chase the next opportunity. Oh, this isn't working. Oh, I got to chase the next thing. You know what I'm saying? You got to pick one thing and see it through.
Yeah. Be resourceful, guys. Are you going to let a crackhead out-hustle you, outsmart you? Somebody with no resources?
Yeah.
Homeless, living under the sky? I mean, guys, seriously. We're more blessed than you guys can even imagine. You know what I mean? We have everything when we need it. It's just about whether you're going to really have, the thought to use what you got in the best possible way to make it happen. Seriously.
You got to realize it's your time right now.
Yeah. You have everything you need up until this point. If you got an internet connection and you're watching this right now, you have no excuse to make it happen. You have the ability to make it happen. We're no smarter than any of you guys here right now watching. We just executed, made it happen, followed through, and was consistent and persistent with it.
Had the vision.
Yes. And we envisioned ourselves here. And look behind me, guys.
This is where I wanted to be, man.
Is this not enough
Right
proof?
here.
Look at this.
At this table.
Guys, come on.
In this location, at this time, man.
And the other thing is sometimes, you got to ask for forgiveness. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Ask for forgiveness, not permission. You know what I'm saying? Take the leap. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Take the leap. Do it.
100%, guys.
Act as if.
That's the way to live.
Act as if. Don't fake it till you make it. You know what I'm saying? But play the role. You know what I'm saying? Actually play the role. You don't fake the role. Don't act the role like you're false, you're lying, you're cheating, whatever. Be that person that you want to be. What does that person do that you want to do?
Like that one podcast you had with Vivid Selling.
Oh,
he said
yeah.
when he gets on the phone, he's 1 million liquid. You know what I'm saying? He's 1 million liquid in
Get
his brain.
liquid.
Yeah, there you go. That's incredible. Anybody have any questions? Let's see.
Let's open it up.
What are they saying?
People wanting to meet up, man.
Oh, yeah?
What's that?
We see some people.
What are they saying?
Let's go to the top here. Matthew chapter 6, 25 and 26. That was the verse for the birds.
Oh,
Proof
nice.
of concept.
Yeah. Oh, this is great.
The mindset.
Mindset, 100%. As cliche, let's see, as it may sound, whether you think you... Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that one hit. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, God put those visions and thoughts inside our head. He blessed us, man. He bestowed this information upon us.
Hey, Matt Riley know the deal, man. That Cuban coffee.
Double shot.
Hey,
Yeah.
man, it's Chilean coffee, my man. We're
Yes,
not in
sir.
Cuba.
Double shot, bro.
Double shot.
Double
my man.
shot, 2 cups. I love it. What does daily routine consist of? Let's talk about that. What do your daily routines consist of nowadays? What are some of the daily actions that have contributed to your success? Great question. I'll start. Number one, you got to make the calls, man. I mean, this business is super simple. I mean, there's no way around it. There's no software. There's no special pill or whatever. It's this business. You got to talk to people that are motivated to sell their house, and you got to get a discount. You got to negotiate a good deal.
Learn how to negotiate. That's a big skill. That's the biggest one.
Yeah.
That's how we make our money, is based on negotiating.
I would agree. And the other thing is, learning how to run your numbers, man, because you can't negotiate a good deal if you don't know where you got to be at, really.
Yep.
You got to have
100%.
that clarity. You know what I'm saying? You got to know, well, what is your actual MAO? And then anything below that number is your profit. So many people are totally great on the phone. They get deals locked up, but they're getting the numbers all wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you got to have that clarity as to, like, well, what actually makes this a good deal? At what price do I have to be at? And there you got to look at, well, what's currently on the market, what's recently sold, and then get relationships with buyers in the area. Go talk to some investors and, like, actually just have that conversation with them and see, like, well, what is it you're actually looking for?
Yeah, get in tune with reality, essentially. The real price, the real numbers, what stuff's trending for these days, what it's trading for, you know what I mean?
This guy, John, he says something that I found really funny, but, like, also very true. He's like, I was like 4 pillars, right? Motivation, condition, timeline, and price, right? He's like motivation, condition, timeline, and what they're hoping to get. They're hoping to get for the property.
Hey, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it is what it is.
What are they hoping to get, right?
Yeah,
But that doesn't mean they're going to get it.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that it's a relevant asking price at all.
No.
They're trying to anchor you just like you need to anchor them.
Yeah,
they're
yes.
anchoring high. You got to anchor low. And sometimes you meet somewhere in the middle.
Yes, sir. Exactly. And if they're motivated, they will meet you in the middle to get the deal done.
Yeah.
If they have confidence in you, if you perceive to be a professional, if you perceive not to be an amateur by the way you're speaking on the phone and the way, you present yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
That all plays into it, guys.
Absolutely.
What else are we working with? Let's see.
While I was listening to the podcast, working while listening, sending out 100 more texts.
Nice. Oh, Connor, what's up, my man?
Facebook Marketplace.
Nice. Good work, brother. Yeah, Facebook Marketplace. Don't sleep on it, guys. I mean, seriously, you will find for sale by owners on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a great resource, man. We all doom scroll on there anyways. Don't lie.
Meta got us, man.
Yeah.
Gotta chill out
Added
on
Chile
that.
to my destinations. Guys, seriously, you guys got to experience this. But put
It's
in the work
beautiful here.
first. Be a man of means, and then go enjoy. You know what I mean? But take care of business first.
Yeah.
No, this is incredible, man.
No,
Seriously.
it's been a fantastic.
Just to be in proximity, you know what I mean?
Likewise.
This
brother.
is more than just, some little Chile weekend trip, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had this idea at the spur of the moment, I kept thinking, man, I want to go, I want to switch up my environment. I'm always popping in with John, like, hey, man, where you at? What, where you at now? What part of the globe you in? And then, I told him for, a couple of, I'd say it was like a couple of weeks now. I'm like, man, I kept telling him, hey, bro, I'm going to come out. So one day I just finally called him like, hey, man, you got any room on your couch for me? And he's like, I don't know about that. You probably won't like it. So, literally,
booked the most beautiful B&B.
yeah, found an incredible spot right on the beach, right on the coast here.
Yeah.
I mean, these views are incredible, man. And, I just pulled the trigger. I just booked that flight for the weekend to come visit, have these great conversations and get back aligned, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just give myself even some more clarity, you know what I mean? I don't know everything, and I'm not going to say I know everything because I don't. I'm always going to be a student to the game, but, I mean, just getting clarity to be able to understand more, be able to think, better ideas, be able to just, elevate my thoughts and be able to do more business, you know what I mean? It's just putting myself in alignment, like John's talking, And this might all sound crazy, but when you're ready for it, it'll make sense.
Facts.
You know what I mean? It'll make sense for
Facts.
sure. But no, I mean, at the drop of a dime, I was just like, yo, John, this weekend, come to Chile. Meet me at the airport.
Yeah.
And then my buddy Alex, I called him, hey, Alex, pack your bags, come with me to Chile. And, I mean, it's just such a blessing to do that, guys, because, I put in the work for this, and so is he. And now, he can be able to do that and have the means to comfortably do that. You know what I mean, guys? So it's just
And
such a blessing.
And let me tell you, when he called me up, there was something this weekend that needed to be arranged.
Yeah, that
And,
was kind of set in stone.
Yeah, and
And I was
it
like,
just-
look, man, just
it
make
just-
it happen, push it back, yada yada. This is more important.
and it just, guess what? It just moved away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No complications, man.
no
Trust in the
smooth,
process.
smooth.
Yeah.
Having faith.
Yeah.
Set in stone. Like, this is like something like deep.
Yeah.
Like, I had to go,
I told him, man,
and it
you-
was like just moved away. Bro.
I said, just make it happen. I know you can do it. You're a smart guy. Just do it. Make the call.
stay
push it
positive.
back.
Stay positive.
He's like, oh,
and
no,
was able
man,
to make it
I
happen.
really got to do it. You know, push it back to next week. I'm like, no, man, this is the weekend. We're going to do it. We're going. Tell him you're not going to be there. You're going to be out the country with me. So, and that's what he did. And, I mean, it worked even better. It worked in his favor. I mean,
It did,
it
bro.
worked
This is
even
crazy.
better.
But
in
he
his
booked the
favor.
ticket and then he asked not to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, but
The
he's-
ticket was booked, was what I'm saying. The ticket was booked. The decision was made.
Yeah, the decision was made. And I was here.
Do it and then ask for forgiveness later.
Hey, you know, it's the same concept with God. You know, we don't ask God in advance for forgiveness for our sin, right? That's not to say go out and sin, you know, and then ask for forgiveness just to go
Yeah.
out and sin.
Yeah.
But take the action, and if you got to repent, and then change it from there. But don't be caught up in this indecision. You know what I'm saying? Don't
Yeah.
get caught up in overanalyzing, overthinking.
Oh,
Yeah.
Fantasizing about making the wrong decision or ruining
Dude.
your life. You're never gonna ruin your life. You might
Yeah.
make a mistake, and it might give you contrast, right? As to
Yeah.
figure out, okay, like what is it
Yeah.
that I actually want?
Yeah.
But bro, you can never really screw up your life all too much. You can make some bad decisions, but generally, if you're trying to do the right thing, you're not gonna screw your life up.
yeah.
You have to take some risk, and it might be scary, but that's the joy of life, right?
Yeah.
And what is it?
And I mean, it was scary for him because I mean, he didn't, you know what I mean? He wasn't. There was no guarantee, guys. There's no guarantees on any of this stuff. You know what I mean? He's just, you know, having faith to keep pushing forward.
I walk with faith, brother. Let me tell you that. I'm
Yeah.
here because I walk with faith, man.
There,
Amen.
I mean, honestly, at a point, there was no clarity that, you know, any of this was gonna come to, you know, materialize. You know what I mean, guys?
No certainty.
There was no certainty
That's
whatsoever.
insane.
Yeah.
Insane, people. I hope they're getting the message that we're like trying to portray. Like, this is
Yeah.
some deep.
Hey, if
deep
they're ready
stuff,
for
man.
it, it's gonna hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If
Now,
they're
let's
in the
see.
frequency, if they're
Do
on the
you
right
JV?
frequency.
If so, which markets? Yes, sir. Kyle Ebanks, Mr. Kyle. So yeah, I'm definitely open to JV. I'm sure my man John Johnson is as well. I'm in Southwest Florida personally. I live there locally, so I mean we can definitely JV, and that goes for anybody. So I'm talking, you know, Southwest Florida. So Tampa, Cape Coral, Fort Myers, you know, Sanibel. I mean, just get with me, and we can talk about a buy box, and you know, we can really dial it down. That way, you know, you can spend, you know, your marketing dollars, and we can make something happen essentially.
You
So-
see me tag this guy in the chat a lot, you know.
Yeah,
any
guys.
deals, any lots that are in Cape Coral, you know, we got you covered.
Oh yeah, Southwest Florida. I mean, Citrus County as well. You know, I mean, quarter acre infill lots. You know, land just in general. I mean, it's a hot commodity in Florida. Single family homes as well. I mean, if you got anything in Lee County, Florida, send it my way. I am a buyer for it. Just make sure it's not in a flood zone, please, or else I'm gonna have to pass on it. I mean, you guys are smart. You already know what's going on with the insurance rates in Florida. They're through the roof. But yeah, I mean, just shoot me a DM, shoot John Johnson a DM, and I mean, we'll definitely chat about a buy box and get one, you know, dialed into you know, whatever market you want to JV with us on. Or if you get a lead in, you know, Florida, let's talk about it. Let's seriously, you know, break some bread. Let's make some money. That's all why we're here.
And by the time you're watching this replay, I got my guys. They're almost done with this website. I know I've been talking about this for some
Yep.
time.
Ooh.
But
Coming
go to
soon,
reirev.com and go
Yeah.
and submit the lead or submit the deal there, and we will automatically connect you with John if you haven't just reached out to him
Yeah.
off the rip. But everything, the systems, the process, the automation, it's all coming into place, man. And we're just so blessed to be in proximity with each other, to have an incredible community. Guys, we got everybody. Everybody that's doing this business, man, is
Yeah.
in REI Rev, man. Everybody, really.
I mean,
Everybody.
it's free, guys. It's free. We're not gatekeeping any of this info. It's free to join, and it's free to, you know, communicate with everybody. It's free, guys. It's probably one of the best free resources out there. Seriously. I mean, you guys got, you know, somebody in each city, doing different deals, doing single family homes, doing flips, you know, buying multifamily, doing commercial stuff. I mean, there's anything you need is right here when you need it.
Absolutely.
Sponsored by List Blast.
List Blast, guys. Sponsored by List Blast.
They've been saying this, man. They love List Blast. I'm happy for him. You know, Listblast, it works really well, and it's a product that I'm really proud of, and
Yeah.
I'm grateful. You know, that everybody's cooking with it. You know, they get their leads, and you know they stay in touch with them. They don't let
Oh,
anything
sweet.
slip through the cracks.
Yeah. No, Dylan R. No, that's incredible, brother. I'll be at FL2K as well over there at
Hey.
Bradenton Motorsports Park, brothers. So definitely would love to connect. Go up. You definitely got to DM me, my man.
You gotta show the McLaren jacket off, man. Right here.
No.
I crashed out, man. Hey,
Yeah.
this guy was the last place. This guy was in second. I started in first. And the next thing you know,
Hey,
I'm
man.
driving. Next thing you know, the tables turned.
He
You know,
spun out.
I
Too
spun
much
out.
draft.
I was
Too
trying to
much
go
draft,
too quick.
man. Too much draft, man. Too much draft, man.
Yeah, he spun out.
He's in a
Boom.
go-kart like this, man.
Spun out.
Draft,
Boom.
man.
Yeah, he spun out.
He's in a
Boom.
go-kart like this, man.
Spun out.
Draft,
Boom.
man.
You'll see the video. Make sure that you're subscribed, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to drop the link right now. If you go and subscribe, it's free to
Yeah.
subscribe.
Hey, Dylan R. So what you can do, brother? Reach out to me on Instagram. Let's connect, my man. Seriously, I'm looking forward to meeting you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Looking forward to meeting you, brother.
Hey,
So yeah, reach out.
Q4 2025 in Chile, ladies and gentlemen. This has been
Yes, sir.
the #1 most valuable real estate community in existence, coming to you
Let's
live.
go!
Yes, sir.
We pray that you all have a blessed rest of your day today, that you would just continue to weather the storms, whatever storms you're in, or harvest, you
Yeah.
know, your fruits, the fruits of your labor, and that we will catch you in the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have